Hmm.
Oh, we're live.
Oh.
So exciting.
Do
Did I think of my teeth?
Can't see there's a big logo in front of your face.
Keeping it professional.
Hey, everybody. Oh, yeah. Tech gremlins
Party.
in that 10-minute tech gremlins. You're lucky if they only take up 10 minutes of your life.
Oh no. While Matt was muted, he was telling us about his tech issues. Yeah.
Human error.
We're off to a great start today, you guys. Happy Friday.
Error. Human error. Human error. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could hear you before, but it's not important to me. That is strange. Why could we hear you and, yeah, they not hear you? That doesn't make sense. Amy says, still can't hear Matt. Nathan says, LOL, and happy Friday. I guess he's laughing about it being a happy Friday, because is there such a thing anymore?
Well, I mean, if you guys can hear me and Evan, we might as well just continue, right? Oops. Just kidding.
Amy says no. She can't.
I was kidding.
No, Amy's saying she still can't hear Matt.
Cool.
Yes. Well, do we need to abort and come back in a second? Oh,
how fun.
Okay. Hey, AK, where are you broadcasting your pirate signal from today?
Oh, are you outing me?
No, I'm talking about your beautiful background you've got.
Oh, well, we have decided to crash the set of Stranger Things. Would have been cool if we could have had some intro music for that, huh? So I'm hanging out in Joyce's living room.
Season 1 set.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yep. Trying to figure out, find Will in that upside down.
Mm-hmm. Which is where I'm broadcasting from today.
Back. You right there, the upside down.
Right there. That looks like the Demogorgon punched over some deer meat or something.
Yes.
It's a Stranger Things day, except for Matt, who can never have a virtual background. Oh.
We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix it. Yeah. So it has been a really interesting week. It has been a week of learning for us, and that's kind of the main thing because, well, for me.
What did we learn? I've been on
a hardcore, so I'm very quiet apparently. It is really interesting, all this technology and all this stuff to try to make something better. I've learned I probably have undone a bunch of settings. This just means that even people who have been doing this for a long time don't get frustrated. I mean, get frustrated because you're a human being, but don't
Don't beat yourself up.
Don't beat yourself up. I may be very quiet now, and I don't actually know why, because it's a process. Like the concept of putting together something new. We've been using an app called Ecamm Live, which I love. It's made for Mac only, but I wanted to sort of, up the game to a more industry standard, just play around with this thing called OBS because I'm working on another project using OBS and I wanted to get to learn it. I was like, oh my gosh, it does all these amazing things. Namely, it allows me, I have
to crash your whole system.
It allows me to crash my whole system, number one. But it's going to allow me to like have a background, and so we'll all have the same background someday.
The same
Also,
nerdscape.
the same nerdscape. It'll also allow me to caption this event, which I'm very, very excited about. It works so well. I mean, relative as well as current auto transcription services work. But I've been playing around with this amazing thing called webcaptioner.com. And so I'm really excited. So next week, hopefully, we're working out all the bugs. I just want everybody to know there's going to be bugs. There will always be bugs. Even if you get something perfect one week, it will break. It will break. There's no question about it. So it's just, how do you handle it? How do you learn? How do you just keep moving? Because what else can you do? What else can you do? Really, truly, nothing.
Smash your... Have you ever seen Zoolander? You can take that approach. If you've seen Zoolander, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, awesome.
If you haven't seen Zoolander, treat yourself.
For people who are just joining us, thank you for just joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties starting out. I didn't really say anything at the very beginning that was of consequence, but the theme of the week is Stranger Things. We've decided. We have our friend Les in the house. We have Johanna. We have Laura Poole Cope. We have Devin Grant. Devin Grant is here. Yay! Amy Cox is back.
The one and only Christopher P. Gingrich is in the house.
What?
Christopher P. Gingrich. He's a true patriot.
Mm-hmm. He is a true patriot. He is a very true patriot. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. This thing, we don't even really have an official name for it, do we? Yet? Anybody? We're playing with the concept of. But Alison, you had a really great one last.
Let's see, but I thought we were doing the Friday Malay. I thought that was just
Friday Malay.
Friday Malay.
No,
Friday
I like
Malays.
It's pronounced as Malay.
Exactly. That was very much on purpose.
I believe that.
No, it really was. I mean, the very first time I ever did it, I didn't know that it was mispronounced, but now I've been mispronouncing it on purpose for so long that I forget how it's actually pronounced.
We don't need to.
In
fact,
it's kind of like I can't say Parmesan cheese. I only say Parmesan. Like so.
That's something we learned about you today.
Do you say that?
Shut up.
Do you say that in
restaurants? Yes, but Matt Evan, you say what do we call melatonin? Melatonin. So.
Oh yeah, I love to mispronounce words. I have a great love for mispronouncing words. And if you're at the Olive Garden, you have 100% license to call it Parmesan cheese because that is what it is.
It's not actual cheese.
You have permission to call it Parmesan cheese. But if you go to like a fancy Italian place, maybe
still Parmesan.
Maybe do your best impression of an Italian man.
Yeah,
an old elderly Italian man.
Just talk with your hands. Sangiovese.
So welcome everybody to Friday Malay. It's an hour where the three of us nerds get together and talk about all kinds of things, tech related and IT and gear and digital marketing and accessibility and probably Dungeons and Dragons, probably Stranger Things, definitely design. And we're doing this because we have been inundated in the most joyful way by friends, family, everyone that needs to get online because they're in their house and they've been working somewhere else and they have a business that they want to keep alive, and we want your businesses to stay alive as well. So we figure the three of us have been living in this way for a long time, long before the pandemic, and we can probably help share. So questions are very, very, very much appreciated. So if anybody has any tech questions this week, please hit us up.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, please.
You might think it doesn't sound nerdy enough, or maybe you think it sounds too nerdy. We're not afraid to plumb the depths of utter banality or absolutely mind-numbingly boring nerdiness. We don't give a damn. We will just go for it. Go for it.
Do you
What?
want to talk about what I discovered this week and why we were late?
Please discover this week.
So let's see if I can bring this into the shot or not. I might not be able to, but I bought a new toy. We can't see it yet, can we? All right. Well, because of the background.
It's Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility.
It's a very beautiful new digital camera. So I bought this new digital camera. For anybody wondering, I bought the Canon M50 at Matt's suggestion because doesn't he always just look so clear and beautiful on these lives? So I followed in his footsteps. And I thought, silly me, that it would be enough just to buy a camera, get a cord, and plug it into my computer, and now I have a new webcam. Right? Is that not how this works?
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Plug and play is what they call that.
But
that's not how it works. And I have since learned it. So I, got the beautiful camera. And now we are having to run about 8 programs simultaneously to get it to work. And so that we can hear, and so that we can talk into our microphones, and so that we can see each other and you guys. And it's a labor of love, and none of us are complaining. But yeah, this is why we need us, so we can have somebody explain how to do all this.
Yeah. Well, these are the lessons you learn when you're trying to get started. Just like so many people are trying to do exactly this, right?
Yeah.
So
like, where the hell do I start?
Where do I start? Like my mom, our mom, apologizes about not knowing stuff, and I think that's just kind of the wrong tactic. Because there's so many things that I don't know about. It's not about age. It's not about familiarity. It's not about a tech. What would you call it? No, you don't have a green thumb for technology. That's not right. What the hell?
It works though. I'll buy it.
You can buy it. It's not about any of those things.
Silicon
because everybody. It's silicon. Silicon thumb. Yeah. It's not about silicon thumb. It's about like
patience.
Just patience, getting through it, understand that you can't actually break anything, keep trying, don't give up, blah, blah, blah.
Resources.
So Allison, resources.
Have someone you can call. And don't forget Google. Before you call that person, Google it.
Yeah. Please. Oh my God. If nobody learns anything but that. Like I have become like tech serve for my own friends and like 99 times out of 100 it's something they could Google. And that's what I do to give them the answer. And then they're like, wow, Allison, you're so smart. And so I'll get off that.
Well, I'm going to try to describe your problem, Allison. Maybe that is interesting, right?
Right.
Like, so the camera that you got is called the Canon M50, and it's a fantastic camera. I have been using it as a webcam for a good while now, and there are ways to allow this camera that is not meant to be a webcam to interface with a Macintosh computer or a Windows PC. In fact, there just sort of this week, Windows has delivered a driver that makes it a native experience, but for us, you kind of have all these workarounds. My workaround is an app called Ecamm Live, which some magic allows when I plug the Canon in. It just it shows up as a virtual camera to all the other apps like Zoom and Skype and so on and so forth, or if I stay within Ecamm Live. But Ecamm Live does cost some money, and we're not here to tell everybody to, go and spend a bunch of money on stuff. It was worth it for me, maybe not worth it for everybody. So many other options. This program called OBS, which, like I said, is the standard. There are ways to take your camera and interface with OBS and also use it as a virtual camera, but it does get complicated. And I don't know exactly what's happening on your computer right now that would make it, but we're going to work on it, and then we're going to be able to discuss exactly what the problem was next week, probably.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, though, because when I said at the beginning of this week, when I thought I had all of the chords and understanding that I needed to in order to be able to go live this week, Matt told me no way. Like, there's more work we're going to have to do. So I'm already pretty proud of us. I mean, I feel like we really did get like 99% of the way there. So yeah, we will try and make good on that progress.
Yeah.
On that promise for next week.
Yeah. we're gonna have it next week. We're going to have a lot more to talk about as far as OBS goes, because I'm very interested in this connection with webcaptioner.com and OBS in order to provide some element of accessibility for people who might be watching who are deaf and hard of hearing. So that would be very exciting for me. A couple of questions came in. Laura says, Laura Pulko doesn't know the first thing about Zoom, but her school district is required to use Google Meet, but she's starting Google Music lessons in a couple of weeks. Wow.
Yeah. Cool.
So here's our findings about Google Meet in the last couple of weeks. Number one, Google Meet came out with this incredible magical ability to auto-transcribe during a video call. And it is gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. It highlights the name. So when you're talking, it separates what you're saying from somebody else's input. So, it would say Evan Bivens and try to transcribe what he's saying. The biggest problem with Google Meet still is that the quality of video is really subpar. It's
fuzzy. It's fuzzy.
It's super fuzzy.
Why?
And that's
why
frustrating
do you think that is?
I don't know. It's like, it's Google, man. I've never understood why it is.
Yeah,
I know
they've got lots of money.
They've got lots of money. Laura,
they're too busy listening to your phone to bother with fixing your video quality.
They don't have time. They don't have time. Sorry. Oh yeah, she says she has to do Zoom lessons, not Google lessons. But here's the thing about Zoom. It does have a better. It's become the standard instantly because of the video quality, and that has a lot to do with whatever they're doing to allow for all levels of bandwidth to kind of work together. So it's kind of like buffering in a special way, and I don't know what that special sauce is because it's probably proprietary to Zoom, but that's why people are being pushed to Zoom, Laura, and I don't think they expected it. I know that they didn't because they had a ton of security issues that they're just kind of starting to work out recently. For me, Zoom is difficult because of the accessibility issue, which it's just kind of behind in a lot of ways. So you're going to be fine with Zoom. They're making it easier and easier to use, I think, but it's kind of a lot of steps to get through, a lot of hoops to jump through out of the gate to get going. So I understand your concern. Do you guys have any tips for Zoom? Zoom tips?
You can make your appearance better. There's my tip from me to you. There's a filter that you could automatically put on the camera. That's why I like it.
That's true. That's
yeah.
Okay. You press a button.
And
you can also put that a sound filter on your students who are struggling.
Yeah, you can mute people. You don't want them to talk.
You can do that.
Exclusive on Zoom, the mute button.
I will say my biggest Zoom tip is try and do it from a laptop or a desktop instead of from the mobile app, because the mobile app, you'll only get to see a certain number of people, whereas if you do it from your laptop, you'll get to choose a view where you can kind of Brady Bunch it, as we've all been calling it. So I tried to help my mom and aunts and their cousins through setting up and using Zoom this week, so that was really fun and exciting.
Yeah, It is fun and exciting. It does take patience, but it is possible. Our friend Chris asks whether we know anything about audio interfaces. We know a little bit about it. I would have thought that you would know a lot about it, Chris. But as far as audio interface that I use, I just got myself a Focusrite Scarlett. I think it's a 2-in-1. It's, what is it? Yeah, 2i4. 2i4. Yeah. And I love it.
Here on Bivens Brothers Creative Live, we love plugging brands.
I know.
who don't support us. We don't care. I mean, if you want to give us money, we're all about that. But Focusrite.
Focusrite.
Go for it, brother. Plug away.
I got it to go on tour, and it was all I needed. Just has a couple of inputs and a couple of 4 outputs. And I, not on tour, and it kind of runs my whole thing. It's just a little sexy red box. Yeah, you got
Chris,
the two.
Chris
Yeah.
Gingrich
Yeah.
says he has the 2i4. Chris, what do you like
That's
about
what
it?
I got. Yeah.
We'll see what Chris likes about it. I don't even. I know the box that you're talking about. I don't know what it does or why one would need it, but it sounds cool.
Well, the main thing as far as computer work goes, or attaching it to something, is that it is a USB powered device that it has preamps in it, and it allows you to, just plug in a microphone, plug in a guitar, plug in any number of instruments, and that sound that instrument is then piped into your computer. So for me, it's just a microphone right now, and then the output I'm using to power headphones, for example, right? So and so there's no latency for me. There's no anything that I'm hearing. There's no like delay, for example, because it's a really well done box, but also it allows me to record as I am doing right now, because Focusrite then becomes an input and output device. So I choose that in Skype, I choose that in Zoom, I choose that in every app to utilize this really nice mic that I've got, this guy. And in doing so, a lot of the power itself is handled by the Focusrite. The heavy lifting as far as audio latency and audio in and out and stuff. Does that make sense?
We'll put some links to this device down in this post later, so you can click on that and go find it.
Yeah, Nate asks that's a great one. Nate asks what system I'm running it on. I
think he's actually asking Chris Gingrich that question.
Yes, he is good. Thank you. Keep talking.
Chris says he has an Apollo X6.
Wow.
And this is, man, you guys thought we were kidding when we said we were ready to plumb the depths of nerdery. I have no idea what that means.
The Apollo X6 is another interface, and it's really, really, it's definitely, the Focusrite's like get going, but the Apollo line is pretty amazing. It's pretty
sexy.
High-end. Yeah. Pretty sexy.
Cool. Cool. Break out the incense and the body massage oils.
We used some model of the Apollo for a lot of Sparrow.
Oh, cool.
For Sparrow, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chris,
Chris,
got
we failed you, man.
The latest Mac. Man, Mac's gels. Brother, someone had an IT question for you.
Okay.
Our good friend Les Rickard, he challenged my banality claim. He says that he is battling a Lenovo that refuses to start task the PowerShell.
Ooh.
Can you dip back into your IT knowledge and comment on this?
I'm battling a Lenovo that refuses to not start task the PowerShell. Meaning,
where's our good man Nathan Barris? He knows what to do.
Nate knows. I mean, so the PowerShell is like it's the terminal. So on Mac they call it terminal. PowerShell gets you into all the goodiness, but I do have to admit that Windows is not my thing. I'm lucky that I kind of know what the PowerShell is, because the PowerShell is the sort of the hopeful replacement for whatever that was called before. But interesting. That is definitely a nerdy question, and I wonder what start task is. So I'm ready to.
Les, we need to do some Windows PC read up. We got to get our PC game on.
It always starts and you don't want it to start the PowerShell.
Oh yeah. I hate PowerShells.
Okay, so I will research that one. Now I know what you're talking about, and we do have somebody in there, Nathan Barris, that is a Windows man. So, but I can look that up for you, Les, too. We can discuss. now that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, slide into the DMs, as they say.
Whoa.
We're getting deep. We haven't let Allison handle any questions. You guys are really getting into it.
That's fine. I was going to comment a minute ago, like, hey, Matt, you take this one, like I could. So that's the joke.
Good work.
Gosh. Let's see.
Good work.
Let's see. What else do we got? Does anybody have a digital marketing question for Allison this week? A social media, a blogging, our friend Sarah has been telling her students to turn on captions for on Meet to help them with reading and oh, that's a great idea. Never thought of that. That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay, so our friend Johanna is teaching an OBS workshop tomorrow night. In fact,
we will be there.
We will be there. That's exciting. Yeah.
We clearly need it.
I'm putting the URL up there for people who would like to go to an OBS workshop. I've met the team, her team that are the OBS masters, and they are the masters. Yeah.
What does OBS stand for?
Oh my gosh, broadcast system. I can't remember. I don't remember what the O stands for, but
awesome.
Awesome stands for
Obama Broadcast.
Obama
System.
Broadcasting stands for
Open Broadcaster Software.
Thank you. Open. Yes. Thank you. Open Broadcasting Software. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So open because it's open source, because it's free, and
okay.
It's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful.
Great. Okay. So yeah, get all up in there, you guys.
Get up in there, learn some stuff, and let's see. When is it time to post things on social media? Okay, here we go. Our friend Kenny Davis. This one goes out to you, Allison. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
It is a classic. It's probably my most asked question. And so the first thing that I always warn people on is the second that I give you an answer, that answer is going to change. Because if everybody starts posting on Tuesday at 3:00, you're going to have a hard time getting your content into the feed on Fridays at 3:00 or Thursdays. Yeah. So the first thing that I would do is I would go ahead and have you mine your analytics on both Facebook and Instagram. If you go into the page settings on either platform, you can actually get a pretty good look at when your audience is active on the platform of choice. So I always start with analytics just to kind of see what your people are doing. That said, I tend to find Facebook better throughout the day. I think people, if they need a break from their workday, they might check, especially around lunchtimes and things like that. So I see a lot of businesses posting between, like, let's say 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern. And then again later at night, like after 7 p.m., but before about 10 p.m. Instagram as a general rule, but again, depending on your audience, does tend to perform a little bit better in the afternoons, evenings, and nights.
Mm-hmm.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And
drop the mic.
Drop the mic. The mic is dropped. The thing that we've mentioned a couple of times, Kenny, that we do like, no matter when you post, is that engagement, is like staying in there, and that's tough, because a lot of times I do, like, I work and I have a post, or I'm like talking about a podcast and I've exhausted, and I post it to Facebook, and then I just want to go have dinner. But if you stay there, or if you ask an interesting question, if you kind of stay in and, like, share it and make sure that your friends share it, comment podding is what Allison calls it. Like, say, hey, will you go like this new post? Will you go share this new post? Comment pod it, and just stay in and kind of keep talking to people and keep saying, yeah, what do you think about this? That's the real jam. That really actually does work.
All of the platforms have what's called a post half-life. So it's kind of from when you put your post until it kind of starts to wane on its engagement. Facebook, that can be about 2 hours. Instagram is almost instant. So if you don't get kind of an instant lift on engagement within the first few minutes of it going live, it'll continue to decrease in number of feeds that it showed. So I say all that to back up what Matt just said in terms of once you post, immediately start to engage in the comments as your page.
Yeah.
Because that'll drive more engagement, which kind of keeps that half-life longer.
Yep. That is true. Let's see. We've got... Ooh, oh my gosh. We've got some cool questions in here.
How about that? What the Oculus Quest question?
I know, that's what I was because I also want to talk about Nate's project because, of course,
I
love it. But Sarah says about to get an Oculus Quest. Wow, I've heard about VR chat rooms. Have you heard of any cool applications with social media promo that people have been using? Man, no, but I want to.
Now I need to look into it. Yeah,
I want that. I really do. I have been wondering though. I have been wondering whether because VR AR has just struggled to do anything. It's been around for much longer than we all think, and it just has not like
really Lawnmower Man, right? It's been around, right?
Lawnmower, yes, yeah.
Come
access
on.
Access denied. But
exactly.
Yes, but I wonder if in our world of wanting to at least seem more social, like possibly even be in a room with people,
the prospects of this are terrifying.
They are terrifying on some level, and yet kind of cool on others because now is the time to do it. Like I think.
Do you remember?
Before this,
chat room roulette.
Yeah.
Just imagine that VR style.
It was just dick pics, though. It was just people, just nude people, like randomly coming in, right? That's what.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Well, here's the thing. I think that the concept of being alone in your house with a VR helmet on and hanging out in a chat room before this was a little bit on the sad, lonely side. A little bit. I'm not judging.
Because you had the option to go out in the world
and do things,
exist with others.
But now
you just embrace the oasis.
Man, Sarah, please tell us how that goes, because I want that. I want to try it now. I want to try it. We have time. It's interesting. Think about the applications for theater. Think about the applications for music. Maybe think about all the applications. Period.
Oh yeah.
In this world where because Zoom isn't it, man. Zoom is not it. Google Meet is not it. Like this is a flat experience of discomfort. There's actually something called Zoom fatigue, and it is a real thing, and it's happening to a lot of people. And I wonder if VR is going to make that better. I do. I kind of wonder. It could be really, really interesting. So please tell us what you find, and I'll look into it. I'll look into it. Great. I hope I didn't just creep anybody out, but here we go. Our friend Nate Barris. We're moving on. You guys have such amazing questions this week. We're struggling to catch up. I have a promotion question. I'm interested in starting to promote a photo project I'm doing. It has deep community roots and a pretty universal appeal. I don't know if social media is the best way to push it, or if I should reach out to news outlets, and if the latter, how do I do that these days? The project itself is incredible, and this is a really great question. Allison, what do you think?
So PR is a very specific branch of marketing, and just about anybody can write a good press release. But in terms of really getting this in front of somebody who's going to pay attention and be able to move the ball forward, it's either going to be luck or finding somebody who has some actual connections to the news outlets that you're talking about. So as a general rule of thumb, a press release is just a storied version of whatever it is that you're trying to share. And then you can go to individual news outlets, websites, and so there will be pages. I always have had more luck reaching out directly to anchors as opposed to just a general info at, but it really does just take a lot of kind of shopping and mining that around, or this would be one of those cases where I might just say, hire a professional, hire somebody who has some deep connections into the area's local news networks, and then you can from there kind of get on the more national scale.
Yeah. I've been curious about that myself. Like I don't watch the news. I don't get any news from news, news, and I know that a lot of people listen to it. So it is a tricky thing, and especially with Nathan's project, which is that URL that I just put up on the screen, but it's also shelterinplaceproject.com now. This URL. So if you want to see it now, this is an interesting. I know why he's asking this question, because the people that he's serving with this project even, may or may not be, super hip to Instagram, Facebook, all these other things. And like the news is still a very powerful force. Magazines probably in some of these rural areas. And he's definitely going to want to have them come and be a part of this as well. So yeah, that's an awesome question.
But it really, really is. I wish we had a silver bullet for it. I really, really do.
There's Amy Cox with some sage advice.
Some sage advice. Yes. Our friend Amy says, I could connect you to a local North Carolina publicist that would help you. Amy, this thing is going to be so cool. So yeah, if the two of you would connect, that would make our hearts burst with.
I mean, here's the thing. There's an NPR reporter who's waiting for the story to come across their desk, right? So it feels like in every industry, in every industry across the world, it's who you know. So, and I think Amy's right. There's nobody who can probably put you in front of that person better than a publicist could, because they'll know everybody. Having said that, I mean, and this is just me pulling stuff out of my ass right now, but always never be afraid to leverage the people that you know and who they might know. I'm not a super fan of Tim Ferriss, but I do think that he's certainly a successful person, and he does have some really cool ideas, one of which is I think everyone should embrace, which is never be afraid to reach out to your heroes. Or in this case, be afraid to just reach out to people that you want to be in your sphere, and can help you push the ball forward. So, I've known many artists in my life who have created beautiful works, and I'm speaking, musicians, whatever, and then felt, and I can relate to this. And then you feel vulnerable once you've created that, and you're kind of afraid to reach out and take that chance and put it in front of somebody and try to maybe you feel like you're taking advantage of the situation, but you should be, right? So, go every avenue you can. Go through, crawl through every person on your LinkedIn, see who knows who, and write them.
We are not,
that's a great idea from Amy. You should tag some good news. That's a
great idea. Definitely 100%. Do that, Nate.
Nate, just hire Amy.
Get with Amy.
There you go.
There's Johanna offering to help you too, Nate. She is one of the most magical keystone creators I've ever met. Allison and I were just like, we went to a conference with her, and I'm just like, wow. It's like Johanna knows everyone, because what she does is she walks into a room and she's like, you need to get to know you, and you need to get to know them, and he needs to get to her, and so on and so forth. And she just kind of does that. So Amy and Johanna, this is exactly what it's about. Your friends, knowing people that need help, that can help each other, that it's easy for them to help you. It's hard for you to do what you need the help for, and that's what it's all about. I mean, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this thing, because we want to, we want to see you guys, and we want to introduce you to each other, and we want also, we want to know, do you have gigs for us? We want to work. We all need work right now. We all need to kind of band together. We need to be thinking super out of the box, like really, like down the street, down the corner, across city lines, out of the box. And this week has been super inspiring to me because of a couple of things that I've heard of. Again, my friend Johanna's production of Freak Show that is happening at the end of this month, and she'll put the link in there. But
yeah, well, what do you know about Freak Show, brother? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's a play, and her incredible company, Women's Theater Festival in Raleigh, North Carolina, was going to put it on as a live show, and this happened. And
it was written to be a stage play performed live. Is that right?
It is. Yes, it was. She was all set to perform this play in Raleigh at the theater, ready to go. Mm-hmm. Actors ready to go. And
pandemic,
boom. Most theaters have had to just cancel entire seasons, but Johanna said no. I'm not going to do that because I believe in the people that I'm working with, and I'm going to try to put them together as best I can. And so, we've been, you should see this OBS business because it's like, it is going to be the way that we have to do plays for a while. It's going to be the way that we have to do concerts for a while. And it's inspiring because instead of giving up, I'm not knocking anybody that's giving up. By the way, it is a lot to put on a play. It is a lot to do art. It is a lot, period. But to say I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to try to have my theater company put them in alternate environments that still keep everyone safe, but are kind of thinking out of this box and hopefully try to help us make some money so that we can stay alive and keep going. And so I've heard a couple of really amazing examples of that this week, and I'm really proud to be a part of at least one.
Well, I think that is so commendable. To just turn right into the ocean and just dive into the wave like that, just forget it, man. I just that's just the ballsiness and bravery, and that's just so cool. I can't wait for this Freak Show. That's awesome, Johanna.
I think we're allowed to
and
say
everybody
that,
else involved in this.
I think we're allowed to say, Biv, that there's a good chance that there will be some Cabaret Kiki Dangerous Stranger songs featured in the soundtrack of Freak Show. So I just found out that today, and that's really exciting to me to revisit that old project of ours.
Cool. Yeah, for those of you out there might be one person here who knows what that is. That was a project that Matt and I did 2006. That's when we started that. Can you believe how long ago that was? And it was a kind of a cabaret based loosely on the same ideas like the Muppet Show. Just had some characters and music and funnies. So yeah, we wrote some music for that. That's cool. Let it ride again. Thanks, Johanna, for playing our music in your show. Yeah. Wow. Amy Cox says, "Did you know that 12 million people in the U.S. work in the entertainment business, music and theater? That's a large chunk of the workforce." Amy, I did read there was a really great, I don't remember the gentleman's name now, but he is the proprietor of a restaurant in Savannah called The Gray, and he wrote a really eloquent article about Georgia reopening, and there's him kind of going to his staff and saying, "Hey, if I asked you to come back today, would you, or would you go to a restaurant now? Do you feel safe?" And of course, everyone said no. It's a really great article. If you go out there and Google it, or I'll find the link and I'll put it in here. But he was saying something similar about the restaurant industry, that local restaurants make up some 7 million or more people, and it's larger than combined than Walmart. So these industries that are hurting are massive. It's crazy. But there are ways, like Johanna is doing, just kind of immediately jumping into the fray. There's ways to be creative about it.
Like Nate. Yep.
What were you just like? I've been talking to Amy about in Denmark they're doing or experimenting with drive-in music concerts. I mean, the artist or either has to be a singular artist, or I don't know, the production crew and the artist, or if there's more than one performer, they have to be willing to figure out the logistics of their social distancing, experience. But people can come and drive in and listen to music and their, broadcast the signal into their car stereo, which I'm sure is really orderly and a very pleasant experience in Denmark. Here in the U.S., it's like I'm sure it's like a tailgate party where no one gives a damn.
Well,
right?
I don't know. I mean, that's interesting because I'm not really even allowed to talk about it too much, but because all of the pieces are not necessarily ironed out, but just the sheer concept of, say, just what you're talking about, the drive-in performance, like whether you build a structure and you put stage along the side, and it's a what did I say? Like there's a burlesque slash like diner experience somewhere that I thought was amazing, and you just drive your car in, and it's you get a show and you get food, and it's designed to be safe, or the drive-in, like the old-timey drive-in, sort of in the hills, in a rural place where people can come and drive and park with, again, orderly places, and as long as the actors and the musicians stay safe on the stage. But you're right, the technology exists, so you have mics and you pipe that mic through a system, and then maybe you don't allow the audience to leave their cars, right? Like you're serious about it, and you don't allow them to endanger themselves. And the actors do a review where they're 6 feet apart at all times. I don't know exactly how, but the creativity is the important thing. So maybe there is a certain age or a certain group of person that will not go see a play on Zoom. Maybe they will go to a drive-in. Whether or not it all works, it's the idea, and we're going to beat the technology, and we're going to beat the limitations of all of it. But we won't do that. We are fighting to do it in whatever way we can. So, yeah, I have to focus on those things.
Just a couple of things.
Just a couple of those things. Yeah. So I'm proud of my friends. I'm proud of what's happening in the world today. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else specific that happened to you guys this week?
To AK or me?
Yeah, or anybody around. Anybody have questions? Anybody who's just joining us now? My name is Matt. This is Evan, and this is Allison, and we try to answer nerdy questions. We've already been stumped at least once today.
We admit we're Mac people. Sorry.
We're Mac people. That's okay. I'm actually about to build my first computer. I'm very excited about it. It will be a dual boot. It'll have Windows and Mac. So I'm gonna learn. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm going to learn to do it. But that's another thing I've loved about doing this with you guys on this Friday, is because if I haven't known the answer to something, like last week it was Web Captioner, I've spent the week learning how to do that. And now I know more. I'm not there yet, but I know more. What did you learn this week, Allison?
What did I learn this week? Well, I mean, I think we've already covered mine with the fact that you can't just plug your camera into your computer and expect it to be a webcam. Yeah. And just, I mean, because what I've done so much for years has been dependent on just what I'm holding in my hand, my phone. It's neat to have a new piece of technology, like a real camera, back in my hands again. And I feel like I have to relearn it, but I'm excited about that challenge. So I'm starting this weekend, and we'll continue through next week.
Yeah, It's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. All right. Okay. Here we go. Jana says, "Here's a tech recommendation. Q. I think I want to get the new iPad. I'm assuming like the new iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard. You would have to because the Magic Keyboard is that. Does it have all the functionality that I might need to do all the things? That's an amazing question.
What do you want to do? It's the first question.
Yeah. The first question, what are you going to do? I would say, so my iPad is not the newest one, and it doesn't have the beautiful Magic Keyboard, which looks really beautiful. But I use this for so much of what I do: writing, reading, watching things. I do create things. I do use it for work, a lot of work. I cannot use it to run my own captioning software right now. That's annoying, and it's not the way that I want to use it. I could continue to build the software, but out of the box, it does not do that for me, which is frustrating. It is definitely not a computer. It's not a Windows machine. It's not a Mac. It's not. You still do not have the full control of files and folders and permissions and servers.
Just
and
finding
like
something on it will drive you nuts.
It can drive you nuts.
It drives
that
me
being
nuts.
said,
But I'm
I've thought about, because Mom needs a new computer. I've thought about just saying this iPad with this. She's so comfortable with iPhone now. It's the same operating system. She would absolutely not need anything more than that. Email and Zoom and all of the things. Mom, it would be such a great thing for Mom to have. The keyboard apparently is beautiful and really nice. It's the battery lasts forever. Johanna, I know that I'm a nerd. I'm a tech person, so I have all of the things. Whether I need all the things is another question, but I use them all in very specific and different ways. So that is the question. Yeah, that's a good question though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel your pain. My machine is aging and not getting any younger. And Matt and I have been talking recently about what we're going to do. How do you get a new computer when the one that you got 8 years ago was completely pimped out as much as it could be, and 8 years later you can't afford to do that? So yeah, it's definitely it's tempting to go that route, because you do get a ton. You get a ton of power in those things for a lot less money, Mac wise.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely, I had the first gen iPad Pro, and I immediately kind of bumped into, I don't get the full version of this app. Oh, womp womp. Yeah. But that was generations ago. So I'm sure it's even better and better and better. Yeah, Mac. They don't make them cheap.
No, they make them good though. I have to admit.
They do, and pretty.
They make them pretty.
Yeah.
Here's a question that somebody, I don't know the answer to, but our friend Kristen asks. She's looking for an illustrator for a children's book, and is determined to make it reality. Anybody know how to find one? Is there an Illustrator for Hire website? Or maybe you just know Illustrator for Hire. You do, actually.
I know a guy.
Kristen, you do know a guy. Evan can send you his portfolio. In the next hour. But hopefully that'll just answer your question just outright. But there are definitely Illustrator for Hire websites.
I see a ton. So I use Upwork very regularly to source freelance gigs for digital marketing. And I see a ton of requests on there for very specific designers and illustrators, including books and children's books. So Upwork is one you could check out if the guy doesn't pan out. I also have a friend I could connect you to too. So yeah, use that network.
Yeah. I will plug my brother real quick. So most of the work that you see from Evan is either, songwriting, percussion, or graphic design. Graphic design is its own world. Not a ton of people have seen your illustration, Biv, but it is beautiful work. You've done all manner of stuff. You've done, fantastical creatures. You've done, more realistic life drawings of things. So yeah, you got the skill. You really do.
That was me remembering my drawings. Illustration. I went to school for fine arts a million jillion years ago, and that is any project that I get to work on where I get to draw and illustrate is bound to be a project that I'm going to be really excited about, because it's just the most fun, where you get to play, all kinds of design. You're telling a story in some way, whether it's graphic design or a website or whatever. But when you're doing it very literally, it's so much fun. So, I no, not many people see it. I don't get that many opportunities to do it, but I do love to. So, let's talk. Slide into the DMs.
Second time you said that today.
I know.
Come at me.
We're gonna start fining you. There's gonna be a jar for this sooner or later. $20 in every time you say it.
I'm leaning into it.
I can't keep up with you two, with like what I am and I'm not allowed to say when it comes to like social media. Can I, like Matt used fields this week, and that was what I was banned from. I feel like you have icked me before if I've used slide into my DM.
I mean, I'm always going to ick that. I'm always going to ick the hottest phrase. But I've been doing that even when I was in high school. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that's normal or cool. I wasn't cool. That's the point. I was not cool. I did not use the correct terminology for my age. But yeah, it's I love you. It's nothing. I'm not saying ick to your face.
Your face.
Let's see. Your face. Let's see. There was something I was going to say. We usually get to talk a minute about Dungeons and Dragons, and we did do something. We played a game this week that I was really kind of interested in. I wonder if anybody has any experience with this. A very nerdy thing called Foundry virtual tabletop that I tried to use with the party this week, and I wonder if anybody's tried to use Foundry and other virtual tabletops. But I thought it went pretty well this week that we tried.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely it's definitely more fun than to be able to see the battle map and where you are on it, and and be able to control it to a certain degree. I don't personally need to control it myself. In fact, I felt like that one aspect was a little chaotic. People were just moving their character's token all over the place willy-nilly. But
Evan demands order.
Yeah, somebody's demands dinner.
Who is demanding dinner
cooking?
in there?
The dogs.
Oh, pups! Tell them to get out of here. I liked it. Though. It was definitely nice. I haven't used Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or any of the others, so I can't speak to it comparatively. But I liked it. I'd do it again.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it again. We'll give more reports. Yeah. Why don't we end with one more question?
I think Kenny's got a fun one.
I think so too.
Yeah, great. Put it up there.
Yeah. Our friend Kenny, what's one tech device you'd buy immediately again if it broke down, and what's one you wish you'd passed on buying? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't live, and I don't think any of us can, without some form of laptop. So obviously, if my MacBook broke, it's the first thing that's getting replaced. I don't use my iPad. I got it because I got it on a really, really good deal. And at this point, it's basically a glorified Kindle for me. I use it to read. I will say that I love to use it to check out digital library books. So my spending on books has gone down considerably. But I don't think that I would replace my iPad if something happened to it. Sorry, guys.
No, that's a great answer, Biv.
I'm with you. I have loved my iPad Pro, and it was I got the big one, the 13-inch one, and it's the best digital comics reader you could ask for, which was primarily what I was using it for, either reading or drawing comics, and drawing it. It actually is handy if I'm trying to sketch out an idea. Before I start to, jump into Adobe Illustrator or whatever, it's nice for that. But outside of that, I don't use it that much. I don't surf on it. I don't use it the way that I use my phone. It's very big, so I don't carry it around. Interface-wise, it's a great go-between if you're drawing and you want to have as close to a one-to-one experience, meaning you put your pen on the device and you can see what you're drawing, as opposed to having maybe like a Wacom tablet and your hand is down here and the screen's there and there's a disconnect in your mind. The thing that I want in life, of course, is the a screen that does that. And I can't afford those because those are extremely expensive. But iPad would probably be the same. I watch the Apple Watch, because I did break mine and I don't care at all.
I haven't worn mine this entire quarantine. Naked wrist this whole time.
Oh yeah, it's rotting somewhere in the house. I mean,
wow.
I don't like being that accessible. What can I say?
No, I use my iPad all the time. Every day. It kind of is the device that shuttles back and forth to the office with me, and as I just said, but. I can still answer this question. The thing that I will not buy again, I've bought headphones, mostly Bluetooth headphones that have been duds. I won't name names because why? But just before these,
name names. Why not?
I bought some.
We're here
I bought
touting
I tried
products that we do love.
Spill the tea. Show us the receipts. I'm just letting this more.
I've used Jabra Bluetooth headphones. I've used Sony Bluetooth headphones. I've used all manner of these, and they worked for what they did. But man, when these things came out, it just kind of changed everything. Again, I am stuck in this Apple ecosystem. I'm trying to break out of it by learning Windows, as I mentioned. But if you are in that ecosystem, these things are like, they're magic for me, and I would absolutely, and the batteries don't last that long. They don't last forever. So I buy them instantly as soon as they do, and they're not cheap either. But I would never buy any other Bluetooth headphone. So that's my answer, Kenny. What a fun question.
Yeah, good one. That.
Yeah, people. I guess this is it. This is our hour, right?
Yeah, the dogs are fed.
Sorry.
The dogs being fed sounded like Sound like the Demigorgon was coming out of the wall.
The secret's out. I'm falling into the Upside Down immediately after this to go chase after the Demigorgon and the Mind Flayer.
I'll see you when you get here.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, Will.
Okay.
But this is really becoming one of the highlights of my week, you guys. Both for everybody to come, Amy, Johanna, and Sarah, and Riz. Riz, we love you so much. Oh, Riz, our sweet friend Riz lost a really good friend this week.
Man, such a good buddy.
Such a good buddy. We've been thinking about you so hard.
Take care of yourself.
Hard. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll watch a movie together soon. Kenny, thank you for joining us.
Great questions, Kenny.
Yeah, awesome questions. Kristen, thank you for that. I hope that you hire Evan, Grace. Everybody that came, Devin, man, and Mr. Gingrich, I'll tell you what 32-bit is. I'll send you an email because I need to check up on you anyway. This has become the highlight of my week, so thank you guys for being a part. Thank you guys, and we'll be back here at the same time next week for more action-packed Melee. Malay.
Malays.
Malays. Bye, everybody.